This Christmas, thousands of people are going to be given iPads, tablet computers, and iPad minis like this one. What I'm going to do is take you through the unboxing experience. Now, when you get the iPad out of the box, the first thing when you turn the power on that you'll see is a welcome screen that just looks like that. And when you slide along, the first thing that it asks you to do is choose the language. That's a pretty obvious question, and it's these buttons up here that move you on to the next screen. And again, the second screen, fairly obvious stuff, you're choosing your country, it will suggest UK and we can say next. But the more taxing questions come next, and that will be connecting to your Wi-Fi network. We're going to connect to our one here, the guest network. When you press next, it will activate the iPad and move on to location services. Now, location services are what make maps work, for instance, and they're provided anonymously to Apple, so it doesn't know where you are as an individual, but it knows the location of the iPad. So it's something that practically you probably will want to use. If you do disable it, it will mean there's a noticeable lack of features such as maps. And you move on to the more fundamental setting up of the iPad. So the next stage is to choose how to sign in to a new iPad. Although it's a new iPad, we'll assume that you've already got an iTunes account because you'll probably have bought music for an iPod or an iPhone, but the process of signing up for a new one is straightforward as well. Now, we sign in, as you can see, we've already put in my username and password, and as we sign in, it will connect to the internet. And one of the first things that you see is the terms and conditions. Now, if you don't agree to these terms and conditions, it's a fairly useless product. But what these terms and conditions are saying are nowhere near as controversial as the recent problems that Instagram and Facebook have had. What they're essentially saying is that you agree to abide by all the things that you need to buy music and apps and that sort of thing from iTunes. So we'll agree. The next stage, as we move towards the end, is to use iCloud. Now, iCloud is a backup service that allows you to synchronize your music, your contacts, your calendars across a range of devices. And it also means that if you were to lose your iPad, or your iPad mini in this case, you could immediately restore it to where it was before you lost it. Now, the next feature is one of the iPad's most useful. The Find My iPad feature means that you can locate the iPad if you've lost it or if someone's stolen it. Now, to do that, you'd log on via the internet. It would locate your iPad on a map, and that would allow you to wipe it remotely if you wanted to, or simply realize where you'd left it. Now, obviously it is using your location, but it's a very useful feature. And the next feature is Siri. This is the voice assistant that lets you command your iPad to do all sorts of things. Now, in practice, Siri is a useful voice assistant that might let you, say, write text messages, but it's not going to be the main way that you control your iPad because inevitably it's a touchscreen device. Most people do say use Siri because by not using Siri, you're sort of turning off a feature that could be valuable. But what it is doing is it's going to be using data to send what you say to your iPad back and forwards to the cloud. And the next phase is a very straightforward, if anything goes wrong, this will come back to Apple so that theoretically they can help make the iPad better. Again, it's anonymized information. It doesn't say who you are and what web page you were looking at. And that's it. Once you hit start using your iPad, you're free to roam the web, to download apps, and to, of course, buy all the music and TV that is available through the iTunes store.